Today I'm showing you the method to get 100,000 gingerbread in just 90 minutes in Adopt Me. This 100,000 gingerbread is so easy to get, and if you do this 10 times, you'll be getting 1 million gingerbread. So let's get into this pretzel army. Let me show you the best methods. So the new method to get gingerbread was released just today, and that is the Frostclaw Fury minigame. And you guys have already probably played it, but today I'm going to be showing you the best methods to play it. So to start off with, you just want to play it solo. Playing it with friends can be fun, but when you're grinding, just play it solo. And you want to play in a full Adopt Me server, but you want to play it solo. I'll tell you why you want to play it solo in a full Adopt Me server soon. But let's jump straight in and you just want to play by yourself. Now I'm going to give you all of the tips on what to do. To start off with, just go ahead before you even start playing. Go ahead and either buy or trade for this. This is the ice sword, and it helps you so much while you're playing the minigame. The reason it helps you is because it launches a little projectile. It launches a little shard of ice to whatever's in front of you, and when it launches, it does 1 heart of damage. And the best part is it can go through opponents. So it can go through one and hit like 5 at the same time if they're all super close to each other. That is the best part about this pretzel army. The thing about this is it's only 95 Robux, which is barely anything. And then on top of that, people are trading it because it costs barely anything. People with Robux are just trading it for ride potions. Literally, it's cheaper than a ride potion. So if you've got a ride potion, that would be an overpay for this sword. The sword is super cheap and it's tradable. So if you want to go ahead and trade it, definitely do it. You can see I just got through the whole first round without losing any health, and by only losing 3 health on Santa, which all just got redone. Now, Pretzel Army, each round, you guys probably already know, we've got each round, you can get a new gift, and it's actually a perfect order that you want to get them. You want to get whichever one is higher on this list. I've got a list here. So the first one that you want to get is Powerful Sword. Number 1, Powerful Sword. Number 2, Powerful Deer. And you want to go through this whole list until one of them pops up here. Then next up is Keep Exploding. Then it's Quick Dagger and Santa's Treat. So out of these two, Santa's Treat is the highest on this list. So there we go. We just equipped it. And you want to make sure that you equip those ASAP. You want to get those as fast as possible. Now go through the list one more time on our next set so that you can write it down so you can go back to it every single time you want to play this minigame and you want to choose the best one. But here we go. We are just making sure that we're using the projectile when we can, staying around Santa in this second area. Each area sort of has a different strategy to it. In this one, you want to just stay near Santa and a little bit ahead of him so that you can destroy all of these, and then even just a little bit behind Santa because the opponents will stop right in front of them, and then you'll be able to attack them with your extra sword. So since you've got the projectile from the ice sword, which you 100% need to get, it makes the minigame so much easier and it lets you get a whole bunch of extra gingerbread. I definitely recommend grabbing it. And even though it only works in this minigame, you still have it as a cool item, and it might become a super rare item in a couple of years. I know that's quite a bit far away, but still. Anyway, I've been seeing some people saying the method is to go down here because there's no items down that way, but that just becomes a massive destruction of Santa and stuff. What instead you want to do, you want to run around like what I just did until you've got a lot of them, then use a bomb to destroy all of them. You don't want to use any bombs up until this point, until you get to here and destroy all of them. Then you just want to destroy all the ones that are in front of Santa, let them sort of stock up in front and around Santa here. Then you don't want to attack any for a little while. You don't want to do absolutely any until they make a nice little pile, and right before Santa gets there, you just want to do that and use the bomb. That's all you got to do. And bam, Santa gets to the end and we've got this. So now we want to go through the whole list. The whole list, write this down, by the way, just so you've got it when you're playing. Number 1, Powerful Sword. Number 2, Powerful Deer. Number 3, Keep Exploding. Number 4, Quick Dagger. Number 5, Santa's Treat. Number 6, Candy Cane Boost. Number 7, Dr. Heart. And number 8, Golden Apple. And you want to pick whichever is highest on this list. Right now, the highest is Powerful Sword. And you want to go up to 2 Powerful Swords. If you get offered Powerful Sword a third time, don't use it because it's useless. You want to go to a maximum of 2 for each of these upgrades. Now, we can see here we've got our tiny little winter form. That's because it's just an adorable little guy. He's just a chill little guy. We can go ahead and just destroy all of these. Now, with the snowballs only have 1 attack. And that's this little attack where they've got the red circle, and when the red circle gets completely filled in, that's when they attack. Whereas the snowmen have 2 different attacks. They've got one that's identical to the little snowballs where it's just the little red circle on the floor. And then they've got another one. The other one is actually even more powerful. It's the snowball. So they'll stop in their tracks for just a second and then launch them. We can see here, you get a long line. For this little set of snowballs, you literally just want to draw them all out, and then you can go back here and destroy all of them. Then you get a bunch in this spot, and you just want to blow all of them up. In that strategy, they'll release 2 waves at the same time for each, and you just want to blow both of them up. Because each round, you actually get all of your bombs restocked. So definitely make sure you're getting to 0 bombs between each round, apart from on the first wave. Because first wave, it's better to use your sword. Then here, you can kind of let it go again. You want to make sure Santa doesn't get below 80. You can sort of like waste some if you're using bombs and sort of strategizing in that way if it goes below 80. But if it goes above 80, that is not good. There we go. Then we can destroy all of those. We've got no bombs left, and then destroy the last few like that. Here we see we can get 20 health or 1 deer damage, and powerful deer is higher on the list. So we can do that with our cute little winter fawn. It actually goes up. There better be milk and cookies at the end of this. I find that absolutely adorable, Pretzel Army. But now I've got 2 bombs, 3 really good upgrades, and now it's time to destroy everyone. For the first section, it'll always come from here, and it'll just be 1 or 2 little snowmen, so you want to start destroying them, and leave Santa to his own defense over there while you destroy everything that comes from that igloo here. Then, as you can see, we're kind of just destroying this. You want to make sure it's really practice. If you just run through this a bunch of times, you get a lot of practice, especially of using that projectile. But if you do that method, the winter fawn or whatever winter pet you end up equipping actually destroys all of them near Santa, and Santa only loses like 5. Anyway, then you get the big guy, and you want to make sure that the big snow boss is way behind Santa, and you want to use 1 bomb on that snow boss and make sure you get out of it each time. Then you want to go ahead and just destroy it like normal, but you want to make sure that the snow boss stays really far away from Santa. Then if you get the second one, which you will, you want to make sure that stays away from Santa. You can draw it out by just going far away. Then you use 1 bomb on it, only use 1 bomb on each, then you should have 0. Or if you've got an extra one from doing upgrades, that's great too. And if Santa is getting to the end and you still haven't defeated that boss, you want to make sure the boss gets defeated, because it literally gives you 150. Then all of those finish up, Santa gets to the end, and that's the whole method for the whole game. Pretty much, you want to make sure, if you want to, watch that little segment a couple of times, because that will get you the maximum amount, which is 6,075, is quite a high amount, Pretzel Army. So let's write that number down, 6,075, and then we'll move on to the next set, 675, because that number will come back really, really soon. So we can see we did a whole bunch of stuff here. Joy of Bombs got us 41 times 10, and that's the amount that we got just from using the bombs, because we use them strategically. Now, on all of those, literally everything I said to you during that is what I have written down here, and it's all of the methods that I've been using the last like 10 times, and that got me 137,000 gingerbread. Now what you want to do is wait until a round number. So right now, it is 4:20 p.m. in the afternoon. So a round number, or a round 10 as I like to call them, if you guys have seen my other hacks, you guys will know what a round 10 is, but it's basically a full round 10 minutes when your clock hits 10 minutes. So if it's 4:20, 4:30, 4:40, 4:50, or 5 o'clock, that's all round 10 numbers. The importance of round 10 numbers is when you hit a round 10, it actually becomes day in Adopt Me, and all the gingerbread resets. So at one of these round 10s, you just want to go ahead and play this minigame. And this is the strategy to getting 100,000 gingerbread in just 90 minutes, or less if you're really, really good at the minigame. Anyway, we can fly through all of these, Pretzel Army, grab all of this, and if you want to know how to get a time of 30 seconds in the ice skating minigame, when most people do it in like a minute and 30 seconds, or a minute if they're super fast, make sure to definitely check out my video that I'll link at the end of this one, where I show you exactly how to do that. Anyway, we can go all the way through here, just grabbing all of this, Pretzel Army. Then we can grab all of this good stuff, head right the way through, and keep on going. Now, if you didn't know, the maximum amount of gingerbread that you can get in this minigame is 1,900, which is a pretty good turnout. But what you want to do is, if you get this pop-up, you want to keep it up there until you get all of the gingerbread. Then once you got all the gingerbread, you want to press yes to the melt-off minigame and teleport right there. So then you just got 1,900. We'll write down that number as well, 1,900 for that. Then we can just sit here and wait for the minigame to start, and we can be nice and chill. Which is chill guy playing the minigame. Now the minigame, I've seen people get 4,000 on the minigame, but I've actually never replicated that myself, so I don't know if it's 100% true. So I'll just give you my number for the maximum amount I can get in the melt off minigame. When you're playing it in a full server, like I said, you want to be doing all of this in a full server, and that's mostly for the melt off minigame, because the melt off minigame literally gives you more gingerbread the more amount of people that are playing. And when you're on a normal server where you've got a normal amount of people playing, you get about 3,225 as your final amount. But when you're playing on a private server, even if you come first and last the whole time, you cannot get that amount. You can only get, I think it's 2,900, which means you waste like 300 gingerbread just by not playing on a full server. And if you want to know the best strategies, I've got a strategy that literally gets you the maximum amount every single time. It lets you come first, even on really full servers. If you want to do that, definitely check out the video. Again, I'll link that video at the very end of this one. But in that video, I show you exactly how you can get a whole bunch from the melt off minigame. Anyway, we can just run around like this, grabbing all of that. And the maximum amount, like I said, and the maximum amount that you can get from this minigame is 3,225. But once you complete the minigame, let's say I did complete it in a full server, I would have got 3,225. So I'll write that down right here. But then, once you finish that minigame, you want to head straight over here, because this minigame takes 6 minutes on the dot to complete. So let's go. You want to jump straight in. If we go like that, there we go. You can play Frostclaw's Revenge, and you play it for a full 6 minutes. That will take you, if you do all these back to back to back, that will take you right to around 10 once you finish this minigame, and bam, you start the loop all over again. Now, I will just let this play out. I know it probably won't end too well, because it's going to get destroyed. But I want to do a little bit of math with you guys, which I know is exactly what you're here to see. So if we get approximately 6,000 from this minigame, last round I got 6,075. The lowest score I've gotten is around about 5,700, 5,800. So let's put 5,800 as an average for someone who hasn't practiced on the minigame as much as I have just yet. And I've played it only like for an hour. I've played this minigame less than 10 times. So if you can do that training, you'll be able to hit 6,000 every time. But let's just say 5,800. We'll do it on the lower side. Then you use my hacks to get first in the melt-off minigame every time. That's an extra 3,225. Plus 1,900 gingerbread from ice skating. So you can put all of these together, and that gets you 10,925 total, which is pretty good. That's how much you can get in 10 minutes of just doing the strategy that I showed you, where you jump from thing to thing to thing, from grind to grind to grind, and that's how you make the most amount of gingerbread. But there's also the other strategy of just playing the minigame, the Frostclaw Fury minigame, over and over and over again. So if you wanted to use that method, that would make you a bit less, which is kind of surprising. So let's say we did this method, which takes 10 minutes. Let's say we did that 6 times. So that makes up 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. And 1 hour of grinding with the full method, you get 65,000. But if you do the method where you get, let's go again, 5,800 gingerbread, but you played it 10 times, because each round goes for 6 minutes, that gets you to 1 hour as well. In 1 hour of just playing Frostclaw Fury minigame, you get 58,000. So you want to do this method where you do absolutely everything to get gingerbread, because it gets you on average about 7,500 extra gingerbread every single hour, which is very important, and that adds up super duper quickly. So when you're doing this, that gets you 65,000 in 1 hour. But the 10,925, that's your main number right here. That is how much you get every 10 minutes. Using this method, if you divide both those numbers, it takes you 9.1 sets of 10 minutes. So times this by 10, that literally gets you just in 91.5 minutes, you can get a full 100,000 gingerbread. And let's say you wanted to do 1 million gingerbread. You wanted to get 1 million gingerbread right here. You just have to divide that by exactly how much you make every 10 minutes, times that by 10, and then divide that by 60, and it will take you 15 hours. Which, I mean, in my last video, I was talking about how it takes you, literally, it takes you 24 hours just to get 750,000 gingerbread. Now you can get 1 million in less than 1 day. So let's say you did grind for 24 hours. You get 65,000 in 1 hour. Times that by 24. In 1 day, you can get 1.5 million gingerbread, which is the equivalent of, I'm not even going to do the math. It's the equivalent of literally 20,000 Robux. So if this is a method, so definitely use the method that I show you, because that gets you so much, gets you 100,000 in just an hour and a half. And in 2 hours, you have enough to buy 10 of these ice trays. Honestly, Prezley, it's a no-brainer. Use this method because it gets you a lot of gingerbread. And if you want tips for the melt-off minigame, this video actually is focusing on the melt-off minigame and how to get first in it every single time, even in a super full server. And this video shows you how to get a 30-second time on the ice skating minigame. And actually, scratch that. It's not 30 seconds. Some of you guys in the comments are telling me you literally did it in 21 seconds, which is insane. Hope you enjoyed. Now go get rich.